Note the disclaimer. And remember, my Patreon supporters got to see preview images, work in progress shots, and high resolution images of the completed figure. If you want to join them, even the smallest amount helps. The link is in the description below. Hello my friends, this is Wake Angel 2001 bringing you the last custom of 2018. It is Star Power. Now, you may be wondering who this is. Well, ever since I was in high school, I've been into the hobby of reading webcomics, independently created comics just posted online by usually amateur artists. And one of my favorites from back when I was in high school and all through college was Dominic Deegan, Oracle for Hire. After a respectable 10-year run, that comic came to a satisfying conclusion, and then Michael Terracciano, its artist and writer, teamed up with artist Garth Graham to create their new series, Star Power. And Star Power is easily one of my favorite webcomics today, if not my absolute favorite right now. It is a fantastic comic. If I were to describe it in just a few words, it's sort of like Star Trek crossed with Green Lantern, except if the Green Lantern was actually an indigo lantern because of the color of compassion, and there was the only one. There's no core. If any of that sounds vaguely interesting to you, I would highly recommend checking it out. The entire archive of the comic is available for free online, and you can buy book collections. It's all very great stuff, and I can't recommend it enough. I don't know how bright my signal boost can be because I only have 1,300 subscribers here, but 13,000 subscribers here, but whatever faint light I generate, if I can cast it on this awesome comic, then I would like to do so. Alright, so let's actually make the figure itself, because that's what the video is about. The base was, of course, the Marvel Legends White Tiger. I wanted to use this figure to make this custom last year, but I ended up using it to make that Aya figure, so, it had to get tabled until I found another one on the cheap. Now, Star Power is a very simple costume design. That's part of the reason why it's so cool. So there really wasn't that much sculpting going on in this figure. Just, some circles made out of epoxy to represent the discs that are found on various parts of her costume, including that little Orion's belt thing she has going on her waist. It's kind of cool that when I read the comics, I realized, oh wow, that's an Orion's belt design. It's kind of nifty. Now, the paint job as well was also very simple. Simple, but not necessarily easy. Painting these fine black lines so straight and even was absolutely not an easy task. I had to keep on, after like every stroke, I kept on having to re-straighten the paintbrush to make sure that it didn't split and leave stray marks. And although the design is very simple, because it's so simple, any errors would really stick out. So I of course had to make sure that everything looked great, because that's kind of why this figure took so long to make. I was afraid that I would really mess up these little details, because little details are all the costume has. In fact, I almost messed up the arms. As you can see here, I forgot to paint the bicep part of the arms that off-white color. I thought that they were all white like the lower part of the sleeves, and I had to take a second look at the comics to make sure I got everything right and correct myself. But you'll see that when the figure's completed. The head is really where the lion's share of the sculpting came in, and even then it was just the hair. White Tiger, of course, doesn't have a face because of her mask, so this is actually Nico's head from the Doctor Strange wave. After I decided to paint the details in, the different skin tone, the whited out eyes and stuff before sculpting the hair, because I was afraid I didn't want the hair to block off anything. But yeah, most of the face is still visible, even with her new hair. That little point sticking out that's made out of a toothpick. Almost every time Danica is represented in the comic, she has this one little hair point coming out that Like, no matter how much she tries to comb her hair, it keeps on sticking up like a little cowlick. So I decided, like, representing that with a little point coming out of her hair was just the best way to do so. So, like, everything about Star Power is she's a very bleached white hero because she's powered by light, so bright white light is kind of her thing. So with that being said, let's take a look at the completed Star Power figure. And there it is. I really do love this costume design. It's just so elegant and simple. It's just beautiful. And you know, the best superhero costumes are the ones that are just elegant and have as few details as possible, but really sell the details in. I mean, think about it. What are the most iconic superhero costumes you can think of straight off the top of your head? You're probably coming up with things like Green Lantern, The Flash, Superman, and like those are all very simple, very basic costumes with just a couple of little details that really pop, and it just makes them so memorable and easy to do. Like for example, try to like draw Cable, for example. You know, Cable. Like what do you really remember off the top of your head about him, aside from the fact that he has a cybernetic arm, shoulder pauldron, one of his eyes glows usually, and there's probably a whole bunch of pouches and ammo belts all over there. Like, you know, it's complicated and hard to remember, and you know, just not as good. It's not iconic. So yeah, like I really do love how they went back to basics with superhero costume design. Well, that's Wake Angel 2001's Customs of 2018. We'll see you next year, folks.